which can be two very different things, to see who else is involved, what else is involved, and get a good understanding of how that whole piece works.
So once you've gone through all this, one of the things often with influential executives is you want continued access. So what would you
Yeah.
recommend, Pete, for what people should do to get continued access?
We assume, I guess there's two different ways. One way is assuming they say yes and that they're a client.
Well, and that could
And
be early on in the sales cycle. They've agreed to go to the next stage, or
yeah,
there's something that you haven't addressed in the meeting that you're going to come back and try to
yeah,
address.
yeah. This thing you haven't addressed, you've got to come back. I mean, if I guess if the sales progressing and there's someone senior, and they're typically involved in the beginning and the end, you might say something like, "Look, this is obviously a very strategic project. Can I get your okay to just touch base with you at the middle stage of this recommendation to ensure that the sort of criteria you're looking for are fully expressed in what we're going to recommend." You could get them engaged that way. But if they're super senior and you were lucky to get the time in the first place, I'd be reluctant to push too much time in their diary.
Yeah. Well, again, it's we talk about add value at every interaction with them. You have to be able to articulate what value they're going to get out of the meeting, if not question why you're going to have it. If you have continued access, think about things that would interest them that may be associated with this project. It may be associated with something they are interested in. And so it's a way of being able to do it. So read the types of things they read, go to the type of places, trade shows, whatever they may be, that they go to, that you can have those type of conversations with them. And then all of a sudden they can see you're very similar to them in terms of what interests you and what you're trying to achieve. One of the things clients, especially senior people, most of the time with senior people, they tend to answer most of the questions I tend to ask because
Yeah,
they know the more information you have, the more aligned your solution's going to be. It's the low level people who won't tell you the stuff because they think it's almost knowledge is power. So I'm not telling you that stuff. But and it's another reason why you try and get to senior execs early, because if they can see that you can add value to them, if they can see that you have a potential solution that could address their need, then they'll give you access. But you've got to continue to look at ways of adding value through that sales process.
yes. The other way of staying in contact with senior execs is to think about setting up a think tank or advisory body, because these senior execs would like to meet other senior execs in similar roles. So it's a good way for you to network in your industry too, which we'll talk about in another podcast when we talk about networking. But just say, for example, if you are you are selling engineering services, and maybe what you're selling is, say, stadiums. So you're traveling around countries, potentially around the world, upgrading stadiums or building new stadiums. And these particular executives that you're dealing with are a state they're running venues, running stadium venues. Now, there's not going to be very many roles for those sorts of people in the sort of geography that they're in. So that they might want to meet and liaise with other stadium executives around the world or in that region, and you can set it up with the clients you're talking to now. But it's also a good way to reach out to new potential clients to say, "Hi, Peter Anthony. We're setting up a stadium executive advisory board. It's going to meet 4 times a year. Here's the sort of criteria we're thinking of discussing. We'd love to invite you to join us." And then you're staying in contact with that whole piece. A good friend of mine, I call him the financial director whisperer, because he runs regular global think tanks for financial executives, like finance directors, and he's got them linked now all over the world. And he runs regular podcasts with them, and he's recruiting them, and but he's keeping them all in contact with each other as well. And a lot of the value he brings when you come into his firm is the other people you get to meet by being a client of his. So think about what other value you could offer this client, in addition to just selling things to them. Like what else are they interested in that you could provide for them? Plus, that's going to help you sell to those other senior execs you meet in the advisory panel.
Yeah, and as like for us, we've got clients across different industries. Well, one of the ones we've done many times before is, say, around CRM. You may have helped implement CRM, client relationship management system, into one organisation, and one of your other clients is just about to embark on implementing CRM. Putting
Yeah.
these two different industries together so they can do the lessons learned thing. So
Yeah.
both add value to each other, and then there's nothing in it for you, but yes, there is, because you put them both together. So think about those things.